Let's get into the show. Lots to talk about. I'm just going to start off with Cole Palmer very, very quickly because this is from Samuel Luckhurst, who now writes for The Sun. It's a massive upgrade to go from the Manchester Evening News to The Sun. You know, it's the promotion everybody wants, isn't it? However, he has put something out today, which is basically regurgitation of what was said last week, that Cole Palmer's homesick, and if he's coming back to Manchester, he'd choose Man United over Manchester City. And that's the story. That's the story. It's in The Sun, and that's the story. So there's nothing new about Cole Palmer other than what we discussed last week, that apparently he's a bit homesick, and if he was coming back, he'd choose Man United over Man City. Oh, well, I tell you what, stop the clocks and let's have a barbecue. I mean, this is scintillatingly great news. It's from tier 1 sources. It's not from The Sun. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, and that's the story on Cole Palmer. And that's why I'll just say right here, right now, don't get distracted. There's better things to talk about. And also, even if Cole Palmer put a transfer request in at Chelsea, which I think would be highly, highly unlikely, where would we find the money for this deal? Where would we find this money? I don't know. But look, that's the story around Cole Palmer. But please, it's your show on an 8 o'clock show. So throw what you want to throw in. I've got a few things I want to throw in at the start. And we'll just pick and match with what you lot have got to say as well, because that's what the 8 o'clock's all about. So make sure you smash a like. So look, Carrick exposed, what this is all about. I mean, the negative people in the chat are making assumptions, you know, unfair assumptions without actually watching the show. Carrick exposed, stop being so negative. What are you talking about, negativity? This is a positive thing. I feel that looking around, when we came into this January transfer window, 99.9% of you were like, we have to sign players. And here we are with a week left in the window. And are you telling me we don't? Why is that then? What's changed from January the 1st to now? The formation and the manager? We need players. We need players. And I am not going to get distracted by 2 wins against Arsenal and Man City. There are still plenty of games left in this Premier League season. And I think it is leaving Michael Carrick exposed, just the same as I would have said about Amrim or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if he was the interim. This is not about Carrick tactically or whether he should get the job. This is about something that I think is going to get swept under the carpet, under the, you know, understandable excitement and jubilation around beating Arsenal and Manchester City, is that regardless of whether we'd won those games, lost those games, drawn those games, we still needed to bring players in this January transfer window. And as things stand at the moment, apparently we're not going to do it. Now, I'm going to have that conversation because Michael Carrick, if he gets his Champions League football without transfers, that's on him. That's not on Jason Wilcox. You know, you're not claiming that as a Wilcox wonderful masterclass. That'll be on Michael Carrick and the players for pulling something off in really difficult circumstances. And I was thinking of an analogy there, but it was very, very rude. But the point is, yeah, definitely not before 9 o'clock. So, yeah, but you're pulling something off in really difficult circumstances. And I think that is possible, but that's not on Michael Carrick. So I just want to say this, like, it really is important. Regardless of whether Carrick gets the job, should get the job, or Amrim had stayed in the job, or Ollie had been given the job, you've got to be given tools to do the job. And if Carrick doesn't get the job, or we don't get European football, or something goes wrong, that won't be on him. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying we're potentially leaving him exposed, and there are still days left in this transfer window, and I don't think we should just be forgetting that and letting the normal suspect, the usual suspects, off the hook because we beat Man City and Arsenal. What I'm saying is, and hopefully this won't happen, is, but imagine, like, you know, in March, we're playing whoever we're playing in March. I mean, I don't know. Let me have a quick look. Let me give you some stats here because it's always good to have it. So we go away to Everton at the end of March, at the end of February, right? Then we play Palace, then we go away to Newcastle, then we play Villa, then we go away to Bournemouth. So we've got 3 away games coming up after this lot, right? Go away to Everton. Mainoo's pulled his hamstring and he's out for 2 months. Casemiro pulls his hamstring at Everton. What's the midfield 3? What's going on now? Premier League midfield 3 could be people like Agarte and Fletcher with Bruno. That's a problem. That is a problem. And we could talk about other areas, but ultimately, let's get real here. We are playing 1 game a week, and touch wood, our players won't get injured. But I think Michael Carrick, Manchester United, and us as fans are being left exposed by a board that won't do the bleeding obvious. And there are 7 days left in this transfer window, and we must do something. And I know some of you don't want Ndidi, but I'll say it again, something is better than nothing in these circumstances. And I'm sure some of you will agree with Robert McCormack, but this is not something I'm going to be quiet about over the next few days. When the window's shut, it's shut. We can't do anything about it. But there's 7 days left to just cover off an area that we all know is weak. That midfield, Casemiro, Mainu and Bruno did really well yesterday and did really well against Man City, but it's still the same midfield from 2 years ago that was struggling under Ten Hag. So who knows how long that's going to last? Hopefully all season. But if I'm Jason Wilcox and I've done my homework, and I'm Omar Barada and Sir Jim Radcliffe and I've done my homework, I'm like, that is shaky. That is really shaky. And this is a positive. This is not negative. This is a positive. This is about supporting the manager that's done really, really well. And it wouldn't matter anyway. Amrim needed it. Ollie would have needed it. And Carrick needs it. We are very, very threadbare in the midfield if anything goes wrong. And it's such an important area. And I don't want to see results like that over the last 2 weeks, which are fantastic, superb and incredible. I don't want to see results like that and then be in the middle of the March going, remember Arsenal and Man City? Remember Arsenal and Man City when we've just gone and lost a couple of games to teams we should be beating? Like Goodison Park won't be easy. St James's Park won't be easy. Bournemouth won't be easy. Stamford Bridge won't be easy. These games will not be easy. And we're relying on 3 players to stay fit for the rest of the season. It's a risk. And it could leave Carrick exposed. And I would absolutely hate this Carrick debate to be killed by bad results because we didn't bring players in. And there's 7 days to do it. And I don't want Michael Carrick's appointment and Amrim's sacking to be a distraction to the real issue that midfield isn't as strong as it could be if something goes wrong. Let's do something. And I'm actually at the point now, minority probably, if it's Ndidi, just do it. Just make me feel a little bit better that if it goes wrong, we actually have got a little bit of cover in there. Emily Derry says, Palmer's a great player, but I don't want the shirt seller signing. I want the midfield rebuild, and not all of them need to be big names. They need to be good and reliable and consistent. Look, Cole Palmer's a fantastic player, Emily, and all of you. I love Cole Palmer as a player. I think he's absolutely brilliant, and he's had a bad season with injuries, but he's a fantastic player. I'd love to see him in a Man United shirt. I'd absolutely love it. I think he's a Man United player. I think, well, with respect to Chelsea, but if he was at Man United, I think he'd be a fan favourite. He's just got that confidence. He's got that belief. He's got that swagger. I like him. I really, really like him. But I don't for 1 minute contemplate it happening. And I also agree with you. Like, would you take Cole Palmer or Elliot Anderson? Elliot Anderson. Would you take Cole Palmer or Adam Wharton? Adam Wharton. Would you take Cole Palmer or Angelo Stiller? It's a little bit harder because Stiller's coming in from a different league, but you know, you get my point. We need midfielders.